What's up everybody, it's Richard here. I haven't made a video in maybe a week or two. I've just been busy actually getting back to work in lockdown. I had a couple of weeks where I wasn't really doing hellish much, but the last week or two I've been pretty rammed, so I took a back seat for making videos. Now obviously I've got a pretty cool video coming out this week, or well, it's Sunday just now, so next week, tomorrow, it will hopefully be out, you know, Wednesday, Thursday time. It's obviously my new car, but in the meantime, you know, I asked some for some questions, some suggestions on Instagram last week of stuff people just kind of wanted to know, whether it was personal stuff, because I know some of my videos have become a bit more about me, which wasn't really my intention with this channel, but I just thought I'd put out there and see if people wanted to know anything in particular. So there was loads of good questions that were asked that have given me, you know, probably content for the next at least 5 or 6 videos. But there was one question in particular that was quite easy to answer off the top of my head, but I had to have a couple of days to think about what really was the answer to that question. I was getting asked, you know, stuff like who'd I look up to the most, what's the most profitable thing I've ever done in my life, you know, just loads of different ones. But someone asked, what is the one most important thing that you've done in your kind of my business type of I hate using the word career, right, because it makes you sound like a career professional, and I'm only 23, so I've not really had much of a career. But what was the kind of most important thing I'd done? Now I was trying to think, is it an individual thing that I'd done singularly, or is it something that I consistently do? And I was having a think, and you know, for me it has definitely been network building. Now for those of you that don't know what I mean, I'm not talking about building fucking PC networks or LANs or something like that. I mean like my actual network of people. I'll go into some examples in a minute, but that's something that I've been consistently doing since a very young age. And to be perfectly honest, it's something I wasn't doing consciously, and quite a lot of the time I'm still not doing consciously. It's something that just comes with, I think, the type of person that I am. So I think for my age especially, I've got an incredible network of people. That ranges from, you know, investors, businessmen and women, just so many different people. And like I said, I've been building that network for years. So for me, when I've done my first kind of property project, from being a spark, I already had a huge network of contacts to do work. Contrary to popular belief when it comes to doing investment properties, I don't do any of the work myself, even though I'm a qualified electrician. I never do anything. I actually get my dad in to do it. He was my gaffer anyway, so it doesn't bother me hugely. But I had that network of people there. First time I looked at a plot of land, I had thankfully Davide from Perella Homes. I don't know if he watched this, but he was someone I spoke to a lot, and it's something that's helped me a lot. But when I look beyond that, having a network isn't always people to leverage for your own gain. Sometimes it's just having people because it's nice to have like-minded friends and people you can go out and do stuff with who are kind of on the same page as you, or on a similar journey. Having a strong network of people has allowed me to, you know, learn from other people's mistakes straight away. I was talking about this to my finance director the other day, Ian, and he was saying to me, he's like, the whole point of me being here is for you to learn from the mistakes I made without having to make them yourself. And it's very, very true. You know, I've got a massive network of guys and girls, women, sorry, I should say, that I can phone and have advice at the drop of a hat, which is fantastic. You know, not a lot of people have that. You'll be thinking to yourself, how do you build a network like that? And I'll talk about that in a minute. But it's just, I know people always say your net worth is your net worth, and I guess it's kind of like a semi-cringy saying, but it is very true. Having a network, there's only so much you can do as one person. For me, as one man, there's only so much I can do, and having people around me that I can get to help me, advise me, point me in the right direction, or people that I can just go and sit down with and have fucking lunch and have a laugh, go out and play golf. It's people who are similar to me, because the Richard, you know, 3-4 years ago is very different from me today, and it's good to expand and increase my network of people to allow me to be around people who are similar to myself today, and who maybe have been similar to myself today and have now progressed past that point, because then there's always a learning opportunity there as well. So obviously, yeah, phoning people and getting advice is a great thing. Being able to, if I have 10 minutes to make a decision, picking the best person to call on my phone, ringing them up and getting assistance on making a decision under pressure is great. But there's so many other situations where having a strong network is important. Referrals is great. Like, I don't really like just, I know loads of people are like, believe that someone should get, everyone deserves their shot. I'm a great believer in that too, but it doesn't always need to be me that gives them it. So if I'm needing something very specialist, whether that be a type of like tradesperson or a type of legal professional or something like that, I can phone and get a recommendation for someone that's used that person multiple times and know that they're coming from a person that I trust. A good example, which happened very recently, only yesterday, I got offered a buy-to-let property. It was actually 2 days ago that I got offered it. So I got offered a buy-to-let property. Great opportunity. I was like, yeah, I can afford that myself, but I quite like building joint venture portfolios with people that I'm in other businesses with, or people that I've done business with before, because you get more money in the pot, and it's nice just to have other people in that business. I quite enjoy it. So I got offered that opportunity, and I was like, yeah, who do I think would like to do this with me, who'd like to come on board and we can add this to a joint portfolio? Thought, yeah, there's a couple of guys there that I work with together. Made a phone call in 15 minutes, we had the deal agreed, and we'll go forward and start proceeding with purchase this week. So if I didn't have a strong network of people that I'd built rapport with, and to be fair, these are people that I've made tens of thousands of pounds with. And you might think tens of thousands of pounds is hardly impressive, 10 grand or something like that. But it's, out of each of these individuals in the last year, you know, I've probably made 50k just with those guys. So it's good that I can then phone those people. They've done stuff with me before, they know my reputation, they know how I like to work, and I can say, guys, do you want in on this? And it's a yes or no, and the deal's getting done. We had this top portfolio, we'll refinance it a couple of months down the line. It's a cashback refinance and everybody's happy. So it's just a great example of your network being like increased. Sorry, not your network being increased, your finances being increased by having a good network and being able to take that opportunity. Yes, I would have taken that opportunity myself anyway, but I'm a very personable person. I like to work with other people, and when I'm in business with other people, it's good because they're going to bounce opportunities off me, and I can fire 10 grand in something and I'll fire opportunities off them, and basically it kind of automatically diversifies all your investments just from having an increased network. And in a similar sense, not just in the, you know, the money side of things, the actual deal, the deal itself. So if I didn't have contacts and connections that I do, maybe some of the deals I get past I wouldn't have. Now, yes, I've had a couple of off-market deals. I don't really do that much marketing anymore. Reason being is really network. I'll touch on that in a second. But if someone knows that I've got cash and I'm ready to go, and, you know, I mean, if someone came to me and said, we've got £1 million house here, can you buy it right now? Probably not. If you gave me a week, I could probably get the money, but me personally, I don't have it. But when people know you're serious, you can move fast, you've got the money ready to go, you get opportunities passed your way, and it's based on reputation. And loads of the time, I think people kind of pass me stuff just because they like me. Like I said, I'm very personable, and my network is generally so strong because people kind of enjoy being around me. Now, obviously, guys like Ian and all that will rip the fucking piss out of me and be like, yeah, I don't fucking like being with you, but it's all just a laugh, you know? And, I mean, I fucking hate him as well, so it doesn't matter. But when you think about that, like having a network built off of 1, your reputation being good, 2, opportunities being good, and 3, just being a general reasonable person that people like being around, it's kind of a triple threat in a really positive way. So thankfully, like that buy-to-let opportunity, I got it through someone that I've been following online for a long time. Haven't really met too much, but it was someone that I'd built a bit of rapport with, I'd chatted with before about different things, houses, watches, everything, cars, and that opportunity came up. I had the money ready to go. If people didn't want to come in on it with me, I was going to take it anyway. So it was kind of like just a bonus for everyone. That deal gets sold, they make their money, and we get a new deal for our joint portfolio. So how, outside of being a spark and just right place, right time kind of thing, and building that kind of network up, how have I built up networks of successful people? Now, like I said, and I'll reiterate this, this is not everyone that I have in my network, everyone that I follow or have met, have been out with. It's not all people I do business with. A lot of them I would do business with, but not all of them I've actively done business with. Sometimes I think it's just good having successful people around you, because 1, it's motivating. 2, even if it's just on your Instagram timeline, you know, seeing people, you're just like, it jazzes you up a little bit, it makes you feel motivated. And it's good because if you know they're in a specific industry of business, even if you've not done anything before, I've got guys that I could look for advice on a hospitality opportunity, who are restaurateurs. I could message, yeah, I know I've not done any business before, but what's your opinion on this? And I'd get an answer. So how do you actually build that kind of network. And if you're like me, some people get inherited networks, like the fathers, fucking mates, sons who are successful and all that. Yes, my dad gave me a job as a spark, and my dad doesn't have a huge company. I was his only employee at the time, and maybe I inherited my builder network from my dad. But when it comes to successful business people, it's all been me kind of getting it. And to be perfectly honest, like I said, it was never deliberate at first, but then when you realise there's a kind of pattern to it, you're like, okay, I can focus in certain areas and create a stronger network, not in a kind of, I guess, smarmy way, like I'm going to deliberately only do these things to get a stronger network, but it's a better experience and you get a stronger network off the back of it. So to me, it's kind of a win-win situation. Firstly, in my opinion, fuck BNI, right? That's just me. Now, I know plenty of people that have had great success with BNI. I know people that have had like no much success with BNI. I've met with a couple of BNI A type people and all that. It's just not my bag. I don't think I fit into it. I don't think there's any, the ones I've seen, I don't think there's any kind of synergy between me and the people that go there. I work kind of different. It's not really my thing. For some people it's great, but it seems almost a bit hillbilly-y to me, and promoting it and all that shit, and the chapters or whatever they call it. It's not really my thing. Yes, you'll build a network of people there, but I find the type of people I want to be around, the super successful people I want to be around, aren't the type of people at BNI. Now, I like to have a network of people that are doing more than me. Because I can learn from them, I can see the stuff they're doing and be motivated, and I didn't find that at BNI. Yes, I'm sure there's loads of successful people that go to BNI, the same way there's people who are hillbilly millionaires, but it's just not really my thing. I did start my own networking event, Young Entrepreneur Scotland, still going. We're doing video calls and stuff like that just now, which was kind of geared towards young people, and I bring in guest speakers, people, guys and women from my network that come in and speak and do a bit of you know, like just like guest talking and stuff like that, and it's good. Guys like I've had Tommy Nevin there, Angela, Stephen Rinaldi, just different successful people that if you're one of my friends, you'll know who they are. So I like that, but networking events as a whole isn't going to give you a colossal network. You're going to get business from it. If you're a solicitor, you'll probably get a couple of fucking contracts to write out, or if you're a builder, you'll get a kitchen for somebody's auntie's, cousin's, dog's, sister's brother or something like that. You will get something, but when you're trying to create a network where you know you have someone to tap into regardless of what you're doing, it's not really for me. It might be for you, but I don't see how you can achieve that through BNI and stuff. Now, the biggest change I made, and it's not going to make sense when I first say it, is buy the most expensive ticket, right? You might be thinking, what the fuck does that mean? Right, I'm not talking about raffles and stuff. I'm talking about events, flights, whatever you can afford, which is the best tier you can get, go there. Now, you might be thinking, what the hell? So I used to go to, for example, Pure Gym. It was $9.99 a month, or The Gym it was, down at, what'd you call it, The Quay. I'd go to The Gym, right? $9.99 a month it was. I'd go to the public golf course near me. By the way, I still do sometimes. It's a nice wee course, Lynn Park. I'd go there. If I went to the UFC at the Hydro, which I've done before, sat in the cheap seats, me and James, my best mate since I was a young guy in school, we sat in the cheap seats. All those different things. If I was going on a flight, I'd be like, Ryanair, fucking what is the cheapest fare you can get me? And I would go. Now, these things are all fine. I still had a good network, I had great friends. And when I started making a little bit of money, you know, I was making like late 4 figures, sometimes 5 figures in a month. I was like, right, okay, I'm getting a little bit of money about me now. I'm gonna do stuff a little bit differently. So if I was going to a gig or an event, I was like, well, yeah, sometimes it's nice being in the crowd, but why don't we go and get like floor seats, or we go and get a box, or we go to the hospitality section? And that was just because I wanted to do it. I'd never had those experiences before. Maybe, yeah, it was a bit show-offy, yeah, cool, whatever, but that's what I wanted to do. And I was flying, and I was like, well, you know, I'm getting my American Express points and all that. Maybe it's time for me to start flying business class. Like, business class, what the fuck? And if I was going to an event, whether it was like a keynote speaker event, like when I went to Jordan Belfort, probably the best event I ever went to in terms of network, that event alone has got me contacts that will do me 6 figures this year, just from the contacts I made there. It's a worthwhile investment, and people that I can just talk to are good mates and stuff like that. But when I was going to events like that, I was like, okay, so you can get the ticket, well, you get the day event, you pay 80 quid, and you get to listen to them speak and you go home. Or, and you might be thinking this is ludicrous, so this was like what I'd done with the Jordan Belfort one, or I can pay £1,000 plus VAT, right, to go to a meet and greet before it, go to the all-day event, then go for dinner with the speaker at night. You might be thinking, a fucking meet and greet before it? Like, are you expecting Jordan Belfort, the Wolf of Wall Street, to give you money at that meet and greet? Nah. My logic at that point was, well, the only other people I'm with here are the people willing to spend 1,200 quid to be here. Now, maybe for me, I was like, it didn't hurt my pockets too much, but it hurt my heart. I was like, I'm spending 1,200 fucking quid to come here. What the hell? And I went down and seen like Grant Cardone in London. Again, it was me and my friend Johnny Kirby. We went down for that. And that was 1,200 quid again, plus business class flights to London, plus nice accommodation, plus all that stuff. And, you know, we're probably over £2,000 for 3 days in London, including food, going out to nice restaurants and stuff. And you might be thinking, that's just ludicrous. But every person you meet there is someone who's willing to spend that money. Now, they might be similar to me. Maybe they're doing it to try and meet contacts. But when I was sitting at the table at that Jordan Belfort event, I was sitting around people that were turning over 10 million, 15 million, 20 million. And I was, by the way, the youngest guy there for sure. But just sitting there, I was like, you do what? And you do this and you do what? And because I'm a laugh, you know, I got on with these people and I built rapport. And I'm happy to call most of the people that I met that day mates, people I just chatted to. Just bought a Reggie plate off one of them for my new car. And that event was well worth 1,200 quid. When I future pace it, I think about the future, there's going to be opportunities that pop up with different people that I met there and people that I've met through people that went to that event. The Grant Cardone event as well. I met a few very successful guys in there who are now contacts of mine who I was actually offered a deal in London which ended up falling through, but I had people that I could message, what's this kind of area like, is this something you've got, someone that would take this, and blah 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 blah. It was good just having that there. Going to restaurants like, you know, Nobu or Hakkasan when you're down in London, when you're sitting at the bar and you're drinking and you're seething because you've just spent 45 quid for a shitty cocktail. Well, everyone around you is willing to pay that when it comes to the end of the night, and you know, your bill for dinner and a couple of drinks for 2 people is 700 quid. You're like, Jesus Christ. But when you go to the bar, you're sitting around people who are all willing to pay that and more. There's measures of whiskey at there on £2,000 and £3,000. And you're sitting there around people who are willing to spend that money. When you go to a nice casino in London, granted you might only walk in with 200 quid for a laugh, but I've sat down and exchanged numbers with people in there who are, you know, fucking Qatari fucking millionaires, do you know what I mean? And maybe nothing will ever come from it. Me and Sam Pavlou, when we went to Dubai, he met a guy there who's ended up speaking to a lot, who's very successful in the music industry, and they might potentially do business one day. But when you think about all these stuff, you need to think about it from another angle. Like, yes, I fly business class, but the last 3 times I flew down to London, one time I was sitting beside the lead singer and his missus for Biffy Clyro, the guy Simon, really nice guy. Another time I was sitting beside Jermaine Defoe, me and him were talking for ages. George Oakley, that plays for Hamilton Accies, and him sitting there, what you call it, a very successful Glasgow restaurateur as well. And these are all people that you just sit and talk to. Now, maybe I follow them all and all these different things, and I might bump into them and chat to them, but you never know what might be down the line there. And if you're sitting in business class, it's all people who are wanting to sit there because they can afford it. And especially when you're going on longer flights with Emirates and stuff like that, you're going to meet people or sit beside people or bump into people, and you could be just one handshake away from your next big investor, the person that's going to bring you an opportunity, or somebody who's fucking lead at a fucking VC kind of group or something. You never know who you might be there with. So I'm happy to now have, you know, groups of successful friends, people that I get to, you know, chat with online and in real life, who are all very successful. And you might be thinking this is a bit fucking, how do you say that word? Facetious? I can never say this word, but you know the fucking word I'm talking about. You might be thinking this just sounds a bit stupid. You're paying more money to go somewhere that you could go to spending less money just to be friends with people with more money. Yes, it's fucking true. And, you know, going to a better gym, I was like, yeah, I'll sack the gym and I'll go to David Lloyd and I'll start playing tennis, and I'll play tennis with all the people that play tennis, because to me, where I come from, the scheme, People that play tennis up the road, that's the minted people. And do I want to be friends with minted people? Not inherently because they're minted, but it's because, one, I'll gain experience from those people. They're successful for a reason. They've done something right, and they've done stuff wrong as well, and I can learn from both things. Does this mean that all my mates from school, Evan, Craig, James, all you guys that are watching this, Manny, it doesn't mean that I'm, my friends from school, maybe they don't make as much money as my other newer friends. That's nothing to do with that, because I love being with my mates. But I think it's important to have a professional network as well. So if you think about it, if you're going to like a on holiday, right? And let's say, because let's think about the British Airways luxury sale. I got an email a couple of weeks ago. Flights, business class flights to New York, 5-star hotel, a couple other little perks, can't remember what it was, some concierge services, 1,400 quid a person. That's an incredible deal for anyone that flies business class. Normally those flights are about £2,000 alone. So I was like, £2,800 plus some taxes for me and Shannon, that would be all right. Now, the COVID thing kind of put us off it, but that was a pretty good deal. So if you think about it, you could book your own flights a little bit cheaper, maybe 600 quid in a hotel and all that stuff. Add it all up, they're probably going to be round about the same as that. But think about the different people you're going to meet. Now, when you get on a business class flight with British Airways flying transatlantic, that's people that are flying to New York for a reason. Now, it might be because they're flying there on holiday, but they're flying in that cabin class for a reason. There might be people that are going there for business as well. And vice versa on the return flight too. You never really know. When you go over and you stay in a 5-star hotel and you're eating dinner there, you know what it's like when you're on holidays as couples. You get talking to other couples and all that stuff. So the difference financially in a flight down to London with British Airways, normal flight about 150, 160 quid. Like a business class flight, if you're using Avios points as well, about £200, 40 quid difference. I'm willing to pay that to sit with more successful people who I'll probably get along with and might add as a contact into my network at some point. For me, it's a no-brainer. Yes, it's more expensive. Now, that doesn't mean I'm saying go and get fucking debt to fly in a better class, whatever. Don't do that at all. Do whatever is in your means, and within my means, I was lucky. I could fly business class. I could get the £1,000 ticket at that point. Maybe years ago I couldn't, hence why I sat in the shite seats of the UFC and all that. I was just like, I'm not paying that. But when you look at the bigger picture and you see the value in those cabin classes or those more expensive tickets and all that, and when you actually start to, oh my god, those people I met, we just done a £25,000 deal together. I just made £25,000 from that person that I wouldn't have met if I didn't spend £1,000 for a ticket. Christ, to me, I think that's definitely worth it. So that's my kind of opinion on building networks, how I've done that. I'm going to continually increase my network, and every event I go to, I'm going to buy the most expensive ticket I can, because I'm going to be surrounded by other successful individuals, people more successful than me, and I'm going to learn a lesson one way or another. So yeah, whatever you're doing, whatever your business is, try your hardest to get out there and build a network. I've always found that going to deliberate networking events, people are there just to hand out business cards and stuff like that. You don't really make friends. I'm in the game of doing business with my friends and people I like. So that's why I go to events that aren't for networking and try and make friends there, and it's always worked out well for me. So if you're thinking about how am I going to build a network, that's my advice to you. Don't go and get yourself in financial trouble to fly business class or to go to an expensive event or use a credit card that you can't pay back to do that stuff. Do what's within your means, and as you start to pick up the odd contact here and there, make a little bit more money, increase your standards in that situation. Obviously, if you're like a family of 5 or something, don't think you need to fly you and all your kids business class somewhere on the holiday to try and meet someone. I'm lucky it's just me and Shannon. But yeah, that's definitely my advice. For me, I've probably spent £7,000 in the last year in events, and that's only been on that's just for tickets, that's only been maybe 5 or 6 events. So your average there's over £1,000 a ticket, but the money I've made and the contacts and the friendships I've made from there, priceless. If you like this video, leave a like down below. If you like my content, feel free to subscribe. I'll leave my social media links below. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, follow me on Instagram, whatever. My new important video, well, this one's important as well, but the cool one will be coming out next week. So if you want, you can press the notification bell down below and you'll get notified when that video goes up. Be smart with your money. Also outside, don't go up and handshake your mates because the coronavirus shit's still about. Don't be a dauber, and I'll speak to you all soon. Before I go, just look at this door quickly. Oh yeah.